Hey guys, welcome back to Chasing Giants TV. As I mentioned, I'm going to take you along on the journey from my target buck turning point this year. If you've been following along, you know that buck is not on my property. He's on a permission property. Well, I wanted to get back in here and hang some stands. I've got one stand on this farm, but I don't think it's in the ideal location. It's been there for a number of years, and it's a good spot, but I think it could be a little bit better. So what I've done this morning is I've come in here because I couldn't get in here without walking through about 3/4 of a mile of standing crop. And they just harvested this crop field just outside this woods yesterday, and it allows me to get back here much easier. And also, you know, there was the disturbance of that harvest. You know, the deer heard the equipment running and everything, so I didn't think that coming in here today would do that much damage. And I want to get a stand set for whatever wind direction is best. But when I first was along that field edge that had just been harvested, I noticed a spot where the cover wasn't quite as thick. And I walked in there just maybe 10 yards at the most and found 2 fresh rubs on trees about the size of a baseball bat, and which is a great sign, because this is not a spot where there's a lot of deer, but I know there's a big one. So I'd like to see that. So, and also right where that trail came out and entered into the field, the ag field, there was a perfect tree for a stand there. But you know, I wanted to check things out just a little bit further, so I did hang a wise eye camera there on that trail to see if deer or the bucks are still using that to come out into that harvested ag field. I know they were using it before it was harvested a day or two ago, but I want to make sure that they're still using it. Then I got to looking around a little bit more, and there's a creek that goes through this property, and you can see behind me there's water in this creek, and we're in a bad drought right now, and the water's scarce. And as far as I know, this creek is the only water source on the whole section. And then if you look on the creek bank behind me, you can just see how thick that bush honeysuckle is. And it appears to me that the deer are using this creek bed as a travel corridor more than anything. So also seen signs of some browse on some weeds and such along this creek. So I know they're traveling here to you know, get back and forth between their thick bedding cover and these ag fields that surround it, where I'm sure they're feeding. Also just a handful of oaks in this timber, not many, but I'm sure that the ones that are here are dropping acorns. So anyway, I hung the first wise eye camera there at that exit trail where the deer are coming out of the brush into the ag field. And I've just now hung another one. If I turn around just a little bit, you can see right there behind me, I've just hung another wise eye camera on this creek, and they're definitely using this creek. What I've noticed the last few days on my cell cams, I got like 20 cell cams out. So, you know, and they're on multiple properties, scattered, you know, widely scattered. And I feel like having that many out gives me a real good indication of what the deer are doing at any given moment. I mean, the nights that are cooler, I'm getting like triple the number of pictures that I do on a hot day. And what I've noticed is that here since it's been hot, we're in a hot spell, and they're supposed to be for about another week. The deer, and especially the mature bucks, are absolutely not moving in daylight hours. I've not had a daylight picture of a mature buck in probably at least a week. I'm getting their pictures at night, but not during the day. So what I'm going to do is I picked out two stand locations along on this property, new locations. And what I'm going to do is let these cameras sit here for a few days and see what they show me. And then I'm going to come in, preferably on a day when it's really windy. Come in midday on a really windy day and hang a stand either here on this creek or at that trail where the deer are exiting the cover into the ag field. And just going to let these cameras tell me which spot would be better. But that's where we're at. It's October 2nd, and just getting into the season. We got another week of hot temperatures, so I'm probably not going to hunt any in the next week. But I'm going to be watching things really close. And I think that's one thing that's really key, guys, is know when to go in and hunt and know when to stay out. And right now, if you're after mature bucks, right now is not a time to be stomping the woods. And yeah, I'm sure that somebody's going to kill a big buck, and it's going to be on social media here in the next few days or whatever in the midst of this heat. I get it, but when it comes to one man consistently killing giants, you got to put the odds in your favor. And right now, you will do more damage burning out your stand sites than you will by sitting at home. And it doesn't really make sense from a human logic standpoint. It would seem like the more time you spend in the woods, your odds would go up. But when hunting big bucks, that's not necessarily the case. You need to hunt when the odds are in your favor. And right now, for the next several days while this heat's here, the odds are not in our favor. And so I'm going to sit it out, but I'm going to be, watching from a distance through my trail cameras and just seeing what the deer are doing. And as soon as I see a weather pattern coming where I think that those deer are going to be moving in daylight hours, I'm going to slip in here midday, hang a stand, and be ready to kill this buck. And again, this is a permission property. The odds are stacked against me, but I feel fairly confident that I will get this buck shot at some point during the season. I was not real confident on killing him early until I seen what I seen today. And there's just a couple of great stand locations right next to the thick bedding cover on a couple of travel routes that I know the buck is using just based on the sign. And the trail cameras, these Wise Eye cameras, are going to tell me exactly which of the two trees I've picked out that I should come and hang my stand on. So stay with us. I will share more as the hunt goes on, but for right now, I'm not going to go after this buck for probably a week until the temperatures cool off.